Another red day in the crypto world as we've seen some macro news come about within tariffs, as well as today the Federal Reserve kept the interest rates kind of standing put. We'll talk about Dogecoin right now in this video because they are setting up for the next leg up, and I want to break down kind of what all is going down with everything Doge. I'll give you my thoughts as well, get you guys out of here, and let's get down into the news. Okay, so as it stands right now, as we look at Dogecoin, still eighth in market cap, trading at 21 cents. All right, so we are on a negative 3% for the day, kind of repeating the course that we have seen as we have been down 8.4% over the last week or so. And for us guys as traders, it's kind of been the same mindset. Okay, Dogecoin pretty much is playing with house money. We're just waiting for that rotation, right, into the altcoins, into the meme coins, from what we've seen from Bitcoin hitting all-time highs and where we're stacking up right here currently. All right, so that's kind of where we're just waiting in a balance for that next leg up. So I want to give you some data. We'll look into some of the numbers and we'll talk Dogecoin right now. And yeah, so it's just basically kind of all the same as Doge is kind of hovering back and forth between that 20 to 23 cents range, where, you know, all things considered, I'm not too upset about that. So let's look into the news, what we're having going on right now. And this is not financial advice. Please remember that. Always be sure to do your own research and due diligence, okay? But as we set up for that next leg, we have seen a buying spree amongst the whales. Now, this is where we've seen 310 million Doge being scooped up, okay? So we're going to get into kind of the conversation here from Ollie Martinez. I'll give you guys my thoughts, and we'll look into this article from CoinGate, as it does give you the numbers right now as we look for that next rally, okay? So just in the last 24 hours, 310 plus million Doge, okay? That's where we've seen 350 accumulated as that key support level does kind of weigh into balance. You know, I kind of put it in that 20 to 23 cents range for the sake of this article. We'll use their numbers. They're talking 21 to 23. And as we look into the CoinGlass data, okay, this is where we've seen a 14% jump in the trading volume to a 6.9 billion, which represents a 350% surge in options volume, okay? So whether or not you look into that, if you trade futures, that's a whole nother conversation, but the big bets on Doge are coming, all right? And that's kind of what we've seen. We've talked about it in past videos about the open interest and how the futures have been kind of giving us that indication that big bets are on Dogecoin's price to go up, okay? So if we are going to talk about that next leg up, I always like to say, follow the whales, follow the money. Now, as we look into the whale accumulation and the recent uptrend, okay, Ollie Martinez is highlighting the buy signal from Dogecoin in their price chart, okay? Looking at that possible trend reversal, the groundwork for an upward move does exist. We'll talk about what his logic is right now, okay? Mostly attributing that to the golden cross that we have seen on the daily chart. That's when the 50 and 200-day moving averages, when they cross over, okay? Also, this is something where we look into the RSI at 50.6, so 0.6 towards the overbought territory. Not enough to kind of move the needle. We're still considered neutral for my personal opinion, okay? But the one thing that also is kind of noteworthy, okay? Exchange data is showing that Dogecoin's reserves are shrinking as coins are moving into cold storage, okay? So when you do see that kind of trend where crypto is being taken off of exchanges and into cold storage devices, wallets, whatever you want to call them, that's where you look for the propensity to store that crypto with the reluctancy to sell it, okay? So as we've seen this is the most that we've seen since May of 2025. Strong upward price movements. We've seen that Dogecoin rally based upon that as well. And as you look historically, this is something where strong upward movements are preceded by these accumulation patterns that we are witnessing right now, okay? Now, as you're looking into this, and I'm talking to you guys live, this is not the gospel, right? Crypto is extremely volatile. That's why I tell you guys to make the best decisions for yourself. We're just on that Dogecoin journey, okay? I've been a holder since below 10 cents. A lot of you guys probably even before that. But that being said, it's a long road back to all-time highs. But within this, a couple things to take home from this article and these numbers. The on-chain options volume, that is increasing 350%. Also, the golden cross that we are seeing on the charts as a bullish sign, okay? But the crypto that is being moved to the cold storage, that is kind of the take home. I think the one metric that does come as glaring, because options, you can kind of cash them out. You can get liquidated in the short term and then see an upward move or a downward move. And it's not really indicative of anything but people betting big on the price upswing. Okay. But when people are moving to cold wallets, that's kind of where we look for that reluctancy to sell. And I think that's kind of the take home piece from this article. Okay. So let's see what happens. We're going to kind of stay put. And as always, I do think that we have the ability within the news with the Dogecoin ETF, within that sentiment, if that does get approved, which odds, according to some of the makers out there, the probability makers such as Polymarket, showing that we will have a high likelihood of a Dogecoin ETF. We had seen Grayscale apply for that earlier in the year. We've seen some more transparency from the regulators and what they're looking for. So we'll see what happens, okay? But I think there's a lot of things going on. Also, one little tidbit worth noting, BitOrigin, okay, that's a NASDAQ publicly traded company, recently revealed that they are adding 40.5 million Doge. That's about $10 million in value today as a strategic Dogecoin reserve. Okay, so take it for what it's worth. We'll see kind of what happens in that regard, but I wanted to give you guys the Doge updates for the day. As always, guys, make sure you hit that like button. Please subscribe down below for more crypto news and daily information. Appreciate you all tuning in. We'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.